I know the full history of my house and it's a kind of crazy story, so I'm going to tell it. I bought my house in Surrey a year ago. It's called Heron House. It cost us 400k, and I know the full history of it because the same family lived in it for 84 years, which is crazy. So the history of the house is this. There was a couple that lived in the house. It's a semi-detached, so it had 2 bedrooms, and the master bedroom they stayed in, but they actually used to rent out the second bedroom to people who were like travelling through the village. Then when the war hit, a lot of children were evacuated from Battersea. So obviously I'm in Surrey, so I'm southwest. And this couple decided to take a child in who was being evacuated from there. This is the same child that I bought the house from. How crazy is that? So this little girl was 4 years old, and this couple took her in, and looked after her during the war. When the war ended, the actual parents of the child didn't take her back, and I don't know why, don't know what the situation was, but they didn't take her back, so she stayed with her kind of like adoptive parents for years and years and years, until they passed away, and she obviously inherited the house. This little girl then brought up all of her children there. I think she had 3 children. So obviously now adult, brought up her family there. She grew up there herself. And then she got to the age of 88. It was decided that she needed to go into a care home to be looked after. And that brings us up to 2024, last year, when the house went on the market during the summer. They were in a little bit of a rush to sell the house because this lady had already gone into a care home. So I think in about a 6-month period of it setting up, trying to sell it and it selling, it was vacant, which is really sad. And that's what was really, I think, tricky about viewing it, is it kind of did look a little bit sad, unloved, not lived in. But when you hear the story about it, it's actually the complete opposite. So she had already gone into a care home, so the sellers were already paying for her to be in the care home, so they needed a quick transaction. That's when me and Ollie then viewed it in about August. We saw it once, we saw it a second time, put an offer in, wrote a letter. We knew it was kind of like a family selling a house, so we wanted to make it really special, try and go at it from that angle. We're a young couple looking for our first home. The letter got handed over to them, they loved it, they gave us the house, obviously didn't give it to us, but accepted our offer. We said things that we'd like look after the garden. It's got over 150 foot of garden. You could tell the lady was a keen gardener. There's some crazy, amazing, mature plants that have been there God knows how many years, including like a giant Australian bottle brush tree that's got massive pink thistles. I don't know, magnolia trees. Like, you could tell she had looked after that garden her entire life. So things like that we put in the letter, and you can see that we then looked after the garden over this summer because I built a whole series on it. And that was it. We had a few issues. The roof had not been looked after. We negotiated a little bit of money off to cover that. And then we bought it, and on move-in day, I walked in and there was like a card from them, and that card that we opened the day we moved in had this full story written in it, about the story of it being like a family home for over 84 years. So if I wasn't emotional by that point, I was then, after reading that, completely gone. So that's the lovely story of my house, Heron House.